The Carroll team, Doug and Julie Carroll from Ruoff Mortgage, are here today to talk about waiting periods after you have a bankruptcy or a foreclosure. Every loan program is different, so usually the waiting period determines what loan program you're able to use without a whole lot of other factors. Like normally it's way other factors. Bankruptcies, foreclosures determine the loan program.
Right. So so for example, FHA and VA are both 24 months from the date of the discharge of the bankruptcy before you can apply to get pre-approved for an FHA or a VA loan. So if it's been 1 year, if it's been 18 months, whatever, that's a hard stop. Like you could have the best credit in the world, you could have 90% down payment, it doesn't matter. If you don't fit that criteria, it's a hard stop. 24 months for FHA and VA.
Yeah. USDA, because they like to keep loan officers on their toes, they have different waiting periods for every program. If you're trying to buy with a USDA loan, they require 36 months, 3 years from the discharge date. If you're wanting to go conventional, let's say a house that you love won't go FHA or VA or USDA for whatever reason, they'll only accept a conventional buyer. That would be 4 years from the discharge date before you can actually qualify and go with conventional. Now, one little thing I will say, it is very difficult to do, but if you had a medical emergency that caused your bankruptcy, you should still talk to a lender. You have to supply a lot of proof, but if you meet all the criteria, and it's a lot, sometimes you can qualify before those seasonings, before the waiting periods, if you can prove it was due to medical only, just medical. It's like something really bad.
Yeah.
Now, foreclosures have their own timelines as well. So on FHA and VA and USDA.
It's going to be 36 months.
Yeah.
And that date is from the
date that the home sold at share of sale. So the deed transferred from your name to the next person. Sometimes that takes years. It can.
So first of all, I've seen a lot less foreclosures in the last couple of years. Like it's pretty rare that I see one that happens, in the last several years, right? Back in, coming out of 2008, 2009, the whole housing crisis, there was a ton of foreclosures around that time, and the several years after that. They got so far behind that yes, something could go into foreclosure and literally be in that status for a couple of years before it would go to share of sale, and that would really throw people off because they thought, well, I started a foreclosure process 3 years ago. Ends up that it didn't go to share of sale till 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So we don't see that problem very much anymore.
So FHA, VA, USDA, it's 3 years after the share of sale date where it transferred out of your name.
Conventional
is a little bit weird. It's generally 7 years if it's just a standalone foreclosure. But here's the weird part. And again, who makes up these rules? If you had a bankruptcy where the home was included in the bankruptcy, you don't have to go 7 years. You don't have to go off the share of sale date. You go off the bankruptcy discharge date, and it's 4 years. But you have to show that it was included in the bankruptcy and also in the discharge, because sometimes things will be included in the bankruptcy, and then over those, whatever happens when you file bankruptcy, it doesn't end up being allowed to be in the discharge. So very unique, very specific timelines there. If you ever have any questions or need clearer answers, we'd be happy to help.
Yep, thank you.